Alright, what's up you guys? Welcome to another SHARKNEWZ episode, as today is Thursday, August 14th, and what does that mean? It basically means we are a little under 12 hours away from having the GIJOE Classified HASLAB SNOWCAT from officially ending its funding campaign. Now, the GIJOE team just went live on Instagram, so there are some slight little updates to talk about in terms of the HASLAB SNOWCAT, but at the time of making this video, it is now 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and after I made my video last night, Lady Jaye was actually unlocked about 30 minutes after I recorded that video. So once again, congratulations, but now we have to make it to the the 12,000 backer mark, which will be the Bivouac, and then we have to hit 14,000 to get to FLINT. So if I were to refresh this right now, we are at 10,808 backers. So it seems like we could be hitting the Bivouac, possibly the last minute stretch by the end of the night, maybe in a few hours, I'm not sure. But FLINT is going to be the exciting part to look at. Now again, there are collectors out there that are saying that everything will be unlocked, so there's nothing to worry about. But this is what makes it really exciting to figure out what's going to happen and whether or not people will retract their backing if all the tiers don't get met. So even if we get the final numbers, whatever comes afterwards, the numbers could still decline too. But the big takeaway here that I want to talk about is that the GIJOE team just went live on Instagram, and they talked about the GIJOE Classified HASLAB SNOWCAT, did a little, not necessarily an unboxing, but they did a preview of what to expect and some more little updated information. So I have a photo right here, screenshot, which will be, sorry, one second. So I have a screenshot right here. This is from the Hasbro Pulse Instagram page, and we have a little size comparison of the SNOWCAT with the HASLAB His Tank. So here are some little updates that they talked about in regards to upcoming releases and what to expect with this, because this is still like a resin model prototype and there's still like updates that need to be made within this vehicle. So they kind of give us an idea of, you know, there's going to be more slight additions to it as the year goes on. But the big takeaway here is that they did a slight little Q&A, nothing too big, nothing too extreme, but they did do a Q&A. And one of the questions was about the rims on the SNOWCAT, because we know that they're gray. So, and again, so I'm going to be paraphrasing everything. These aren't the exact words, but I'm going to be paraphrasing, so keep that in mind. If you want to see the actual live stream, go ahead and check it out on their Instagram account. But when it comes to the rims, they are colored gray. So Lenny did say that the wheels will be colored gray. However, so a lot of people were saying that they're going to color the rims, but Lenny in the live stream said that he colored the wheels intentionally to be gray. So then he wants the fans to message them or let them know in the comments if they want different colored rims or, you know, whatever. So he mentioned the color white. I don't know if black was mentioned, but he did say like we could do white rims instead. Now, he didn't mention anything about yellow rims, just because that kind of gives me a slight indication that we could see a re-release of the SNOWCAT in its retro style with the yellow rims. But again, that's kind of like wishful thinking, but a smaller scale version, you never know, because they did say that within the 3-year mark we could see re-releases of HASLAB vehicles as regular vehicles like down the line. So they could be saving the yellow rims for the future, but for now he did say that if you guys want white rims or do you want other colored rims, then we have to let them know in the comments or however the hell we contact them. In terms of lighting, they did say that it's USB-C lights, which they said there's going to be different variations of lights. So as we know, we've seen like the blue lights here in the photo and the official promo shots and photography, but he did mention that we will see different variations of lights, kind of to indicate like if Cobra is coming and some kind of alarming style. So apparently there's going to be like a morning version, there's going to be like a night version, and like a fog version, something like Arctic Blast or I don't know, something like that. So So that's pretty cool. At least we got like different variations of light coloring of blues, probably blues. So at least that kind of gives it a little bit more of an incentive of, okay, we have different, different timings of lights. So it's not just always going to be like dark blue for night or whatever. So we have a fog in morning and whatever, etc., etc. So then the other interesting part was they mentioned the character selections for the HasLab campaign, because obviously we know we have Flint and Lady Jaye. So according to them, they said that they were speaking to fans, and majority of fans stated that the fans wanted to have Lady Jaye and Flint in Arctic style. Now, I'm a bit confused because I don't know what fans they were talking to, which fans they were talking to, but I personally don't remember or know anything about fans saying that they wanted Arctic Flint. Maybe perhaps an Arctic Lady Jaye would have been more, I guess, reasonable, but they said majority of people wanted both of those figures together, kind of, I guess, simultaneously. So I mean, I was just kind of a little baffled by that comment because, again, I don't know which collectors or who collectors they're talking to. Maybe it's those focus groups. I'm not really sure. But to them, Flint and Lady Jaye, according to Emily, and again, I'm paraphrasing, it was an overwhelming response of Flint and Lady Jaye. So I don't know, because on my channel, I don't know about other YouTubers, but on my channel, mostly everyone was looking for like other mainline released figures. But again, this is a HasLab, so it's supposed to be characters that are not supposed to be for retail later or whatever, because just like how we have Glenda and the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander, the logo, distorted logo version. So again, it has to be exclusive to the HasLab, so this makes sense. However, this goes into what Lenny mentioned. Now, this could be a tease, this could maybe not be a tease, I don't know. But Lenny did kind of say that when creating the Arctic Flint figures or even the Arctic Lady Jaye figures, that he had to look at the figures and be like, how could we potentially reuse these figures or molds down the line? So that's a key word here, down the line. So that's one thing to note, is that what do you say? He said something like when you look at the figures, there could be potential releases for the Snowcat when it comes to army builders or like troop builders, you know, so it's easy for him to reuse these molds. So there's a very good chance that we could see Flint's fur coat down, or Lady Jaye's fur coat down the line, again for Arctic army builders or troop builders to help go alongside the Snowcat. Because when they talked about how the HISS tank had the 788 fire team, and then, well, the Dragonfly didn't really have anything, but I think one of the questions was, are we getting like those extra sets that coincide with the actual HasLab? And they didn't really give a specific answer, but they did kind of slightly mention that there's a potential idea that there may come down the line. So it's not 100% confirmed, but it's G.I. Joe, it's Hasbro, you know that they're going to milk the hell out of the molds. So we know that it's a very possible idea that something could happen down the line. And then he mentioned, like, one of the examples, like, wood fans would want to see a steel core, but he said steel brigade, but steel core in Arctic colors. So we know Valiverse has already done a steel brigade figure in all white. So I think, a lot of times when Valiverse does a figure, the GI Joe team does roughly the same thing, but maybe better or worse. We don't know. I mean, it's up to you to decide. So there's a very good chance we could see an Arctic steel core figure down the line to coincide with this, because we've seen that some of the steel core figures do go parallel with the Dragonfly. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'm a huge fan of the steel core anyway, so I like their designs and whatever. So we could see a steel core figure down the line. And last but not least, they talked about the stickers, and with the stickers, you can place the frostbite or the frost stickers on the windshield, and you can easily take them out, which I thought was nice. And then they also talked about the Bivouac and whatever, all the other stuff. So I think that's basically all I got from this particular Q&A, which again, it's not too much of a big thing, but it's also it was pretty cool. So other than that, here we are again, 10 hours, 45 minutes, and 52 seconds away from having this finish. Emily did say that you will not be able to back the project once 11:59 p.m. happens. You have 15 days to cancel. And then if I just refresh this one last time, 10,833. So I will be going live tonight. So if you guys want to join me, it will be an after hours live stream. Maybe it might be too late for a lot of you, but I will be streaming just to do the final countdown. So if you guys can make it, cool. If not, no worries, you can catch the replay. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for watching. I'll see you on tonight's live stream, and give a like and subscribe, and thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all tonight in the live stream.